Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, Made with Love. My name is Heather, and today I'm actually going to get to some sewing. I've had quite a few people asking me about sewing, and I know it's just been really hectic around here, but I've got quite a few sewing projects that I've got lined up and ready to do. So I'm just got all my stuff is just kind of sorted out here. Today I'm going to make more of these little hanging kitchen towels. I love these. They're such easy things to make, inexpensive. I mean, go to the dollar store, you know, even Dollarama is like up to $2.50 for a tea towel. But Dollar Tree, $1.50 for a tea towel. The little pot holders here I use are, you know, a 2-pack for under $2, and a matching coordinating oven mitt for, you know, like $1.50, $2. So I mean, even if I went to Dollar Tree to make these, it's under $6. And then of course the buttons, and I buy my buttons in the big pack from Walmart for, I think they're about $8 now, something like that, but you get like quite a good, I like the ones from the colored coordinating ones. So I've got the green and the red and yellow and orange. That's the 4 colors that I use, because that's seem to be the ones that give me the most options. So these are ones I've made before. So it was this lemon. Actually, I've got a couple sets of the lemon ones. I do actually use these. I just rotate them around in my kitchen. And then I have this gnome one I made last fall. And I have one of my Halloween ones I made last fall as well. So this year, oh my knee really hurts. Sorry, just gotta get a little lower my knee. So I do have a stack of ones, so I was sorting these out because I've wanted to make these for a while, but I've got a stack of my Easter tea towels, so these will be saved for the spring. Never got to. And I've got another big stack here of just random, you know, everyday type ones. So a plain red one, a watermelon, pineapple, those blue and white flowers. And I got this one here, and it says, just beat it. This one says, my kitchen, seasoned with love. My kitchen, my rules, don't flip out. A cupcake, and a cactus. So these ones are just some everyday ones that I'm going to be working with later, not today. These ones I just bought last week, so this is part of their new Halloween ones. So I didn't find the tea towels that match, but these are the pot holders I found. It says trick or treating with my nomies. And then the tea towels I found like this, and they say work your magic. So I'm not really big into the Halloween stuff, but once in a while, you know, I'm trying to get rid of certain things out of my home. But the ones I will be working with today is, I've got the one with the blue pickup truck, so it's in the blue, and it says Hello Fall, and a little blue pot holder. And then I've got this one. I bought this last fall. I really liked the colors on it. It's got the pumpkins and the lattes and everything. So this one I paid $3.50 at Dollarama. It's a little bit on the pricey, but it feels like it's a better quality tea towel, and I want to see how it compares with the other ones. And I'm going to pair it with this color of a pot holder, because it's kind of almost the same color as the latte. And then I have these 2 sets, and I bought these also last fall. So I got these ones here, and they just say, you know, just a whole bunch of different sayings, you know, welcome autumn, something about the pumpkin patch. It's hard to quite read them when they're still folded. And then I have the 2 coordinating pot holders. I guess they've got all what they say. And then I even have the matching coordinating oven mitts. I do like to try to get the oven mitts to match it, just when you're giving it as a gift, to have them as a nice set. And then I will have to figure out the buttons. And I've got a couple other oven mitts that are like these. They're really interesting. I like to pair these type of a pattern more with the Halloween ones, just because they kind of remind me of like eyes. And then I've got a whole bunch of other pot holders here. So I've got just different colors. Straight colors are usually the easiest to work with, because you fold them in half and you don't have to worry about pictures or anything. I got these ones here, which is the bees on one side, or you can even, if you had to, they are black. And I've done that before, where the pattern doesn't work. But if you flip it the other way, then you'll get a kind of a pattern inside, but you have the solid color on the outside. I've done that. I've got a couple more of the coffee ones, which I have not seen these coffee style for quite a while. So I'm hoping they haven't discontinued that. And then I got some of these lighter, like a muted grayish green. And then I've got this one here, which I was gonna pair with this one, but then I just thought it was just too busy for my taste. I mean, I still might, I don't know, I'm looking at it. I think it's just a little too busy. I just kind of, sometimes lots of busyness on top and lots of busyness at the bottom. Sometimes it works, I don't know. I had a different tea towel that I wanted to use with these ones, and I don't see it here, so I know my stuff is all being packed, so I will look for that. So that's why I decided to go with the other one. And I guess that is, oh, the buttons. So I've got my big tub of buttons. So that's my next thing. I will just be going through and finding the coordinating buttons that I would need. This is the only pack of buttons that I can find at the moment. So I'm hoping I have enough coordinating buttons. If not, I'll probably end up using just black or white, which always look good. So I will be back in just a few moments after I figure out, oh, excuse me. After I figure out which buttons I'm gonna use, and I gotta get my sewing machine plugged in. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got my ironing board set up just so I have a surface to do this. So I'm gonna be making a total of 6 of these little kitchen towel hangers. So I've got my little straight pins, I've got my hot holders, and the tea towels. Very simple. I've already gone and taken all the tags off. If you want, you can iron these. I have in the past where I've ironed them. I find it makes no real difference to pre-wash or iron these. I'm just not going to do that today because I just don't have, I feel like sometimes there's just not enough time to do that. So I'm just going to fold these like into thirds, and get this lined up here, get this lined up, so that's the inside. Just pin these together. I think it's, for me, it's the pinning is what takes the longest. Together in a few places. I'm not very good at pinning through lots of layers of fabric because I usually miss something. But there. So I'm just going to do, just kind of fold them in thirds, just pin it, and then just setting it there so I can just, go through and just get them all done at one time. Which is why I love these type of crafts and projects where you can make multiples at one time. Just making sure which way is the in and out of your pot holders. And I'm just roughly eyeballing where the center would be. I found measuring or measuring and not measuring, they'll be crooked or not crooked, these tea towels are from most of these are from Dollarama or Dollar Tree, and I'm gonna say they are just so crooked sometimes. Even measuring and project looks crooked. To avoid that, I'm just eyeballing everything. I find it just kind of saves me time. And if I eyeball it, and if it's a little crooked, it's a little crooked. I always say, stitching of things get a little crooked. It's handmade. I need some new straight pins. Some of these just don't want to go through. And when I'm pinning, I also try to get all my pins to go the same direction. So when I'm sewing, I'm easy to pull out. So I've done that where I've put my straight pins in one direction and then I'm sewing and it's hard to pull them back out. But I'm just learning how to sew. I haven't done too much sewing, but I love easy, quick crafts like this. These are the perfect things to make if you do craft fairs and stuff. You know what, I just realized I think I'm pinning these backwards. I am. Pinned two together and now I'm just realizing that I have them pinned backwards. Okay. Should be pinning them this way, so then you're actually stitching from the top. I think it was because I had everything laid out and then I moved things from the floor up to here and then I just, okay, so I will set those two I did are backwards. Okay, have it so the pattern is facing you. Because you're gotta, you know, hold this, no, it's gotta be. Okay, just give me a second, I gotta remember. I know how to do this. It's just been a while since I've done these and I've done it before. Okay, so you have to have them like this. So I'm gonna pin this together. I'm just gonna do a little pin right here in the center to hold this together. And then you have to flip it there. And then you pin this here. So when it hangs, you got the print is outside. At least I caught myself. Oops, that's the wrong one now. I flipped this over. Okay, I will get it right. Just gonna undo that pin because it's a little crooked here. Okay, fold it into thirds and then flip it over. And then make sure that it lines up with this. There, because when you pull it up, you want to have it's confusing because it's usually right sides together or wrong sides together or right sides together. I don't know. This is, I don't know. You want to pin it so when you make your tea towel, then the picture hangs down nicely, not inside out. So at least I caught myself, but I've actually done that and stitched together. Like I said, I'm kind of new at sewing. I'm just kind of teaching myself, just having fun playing around. So, but no, these are great little crafts for if you do any of the craft shows and everything. They're so easy to make. So I'm having trouble getting my pin to go through all the layers. Okay, so that's my biggest problem I have, is just making sure I've got all my layers lined up and get the pin to go through all the layers. Oops, it just doesn't want to come back up there. So when it's pinned, it should look like this. So when it's hanging, it will be correct. Okay, so I'm just gonna go, now I've messed up because I picked that up and it wasn't quite right. Okay. Now these ones here, I've got these two here and they have a lot of words on them and they are not in half. So the words go straight down, all the way down. So I'm gonna try this and just see how this will look. I've never done one with this amount of words. I had a couple ideas on how to get around stuff that have so much words, so I thought, well, I will try. So for this one, because it has a lot of words, and same with the pot holder, it also has a lot of words. So for this one, I'm gonna actually have it where I'm gonna do this one a little bit different. So instead of having it in the center like this, and then you button, and then the words are all upside down. I'm gonna have it so I have it where I want the center is, so it's here, and then I'm gonna have the button up here. So it's gonna be a little bit different of a style, but I think it should work. But I now just have to make sure I got this lined up right. Just gonna make sure that this is the top of the words. So this is the top of these words. I want this to be here. Like I said, I just want to test and see how this will work. Is that where I want it to pin? I want it to up right along here. And if it doesn't look good, I can always undo the stitching. It's not a big deal. You know, if you make a mistake, just take out all your stitching and start again. Can't tell you how many times on projects I've had to take out lots of stitches and redo it. I do need new pins. These are just not. I'm gonna go through. And this is another one just like that, where it's got lots of words. I want to try and see how well it will work. It's the same color as everything else. Okay, so I'm just gonna finish pinning this one, and then I've got to undo the first two I did, and then I will be back at the sewing machine to actually sew these together. Okay, I don't know how well this is going to be on screen, but I've got my needle position here on 4, which is a zigzag, and I didn't touch these, so I let the sewing machine chose it. So the top one says it's a position thing, it's at a 1.4, the total is a 3.5. I'm not a sewer, so I don't really know quite what these stand for, but I don't really touch that. As for the tension on my thread up here, I have it at a 3. It's usually where I keep it at unless I'm doing this other material. So I'm just gonna, my first one here, just give me 1 second, I just gotta move the camera a little bit. Okay, I think I've got my sewing machine ready. Just gonna, oops, something happened. It's all threaded. It's supposed to be. What happened there? There, just get it on the fabric. That might help. I have to stand because my chair is too low. I can't reach to sew. It's not moving. Oops. Okay, so it doesn't want to move. This happens sometimes. I can't seem to get. Oh, don't put your thumb under that part. Okay. Take this. I don't know, I've got an extra thread there. Just gonna snip this off. I'm just gonna retry this and see why it just didn't seem to want to move. Must have the thread just caught under here. Try that again. Try this, but I'm going to try it from the other side and just see if it will work better. Grab my pin cushion so I don't put pins everywhere. Okay. I'm just using the standard white thread. I mean, if I really wanted to, I should have changed to a darker thread, but Today I'm not worried about it. Just thought if I could just get these made. And my thread snapped somewhere along the way, and I didn't even notice. Okay. This thread is tangled somewhere in the machine. I don't know. I'm not a person who, I don't sew a lot, so sometimes I get thread is caught somewhere. There. Okay. Rethread the machine. Remember how it all goes down here. Oops, I see thread caught in here. That is probably what's causing this all to get caught in. There's a big chunk of thread wrapped around that thing. So I don't know what it's called. This top part up here that comes up and down, you put the thread around it, there is a big ball of it wrapped right around the top of it. So I gotta get that off, so I'll be back when I get that fixed. Okay, I got the thread all untangled, re-threaded, and I finished that one, so that one is good. I'm just gonna go to the next one. That's all I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna do them back to back. I'm just gonna keep going. That's why I love these type of sewing projects where you can just sew so many things together at one time. Just making sure I have this. I always have trouble with these sides that when I'm sewing like this, that they get caught around the sewing machine or they get caught around the arm here, and then I have to, if I don't have it right, then I end up having to take out all the stitches. So I'm just making sure it's all level. Straight pin just broke, and the machine just stopped. Set this pin aside so I don't lose it anywhere. These are the last two. These are the ones with all the words. So like I said, I just want to make sure I know right where I want to stitch so that when it lifts up, you can see the wording. So I need this to be stitched more over here. This one too just did that. Like I said, I gotta get some new straight pins. And the last one. Saw the thread just snap. Now it's stuck. At least that time I actually saw it snap. But sometimes I don't even see when that happens. Just cannot see the little hole in the needle. Sometimes I can thread so easily, other days it's like I cannot even see. Nope, didn't get it. Okay. Well, it's going to take me a minute to get this, so I'll be back as soon as I get this threaded and this last one stitched. Okay, so all 6 are now finished. I'm just going to grab my scissors and I'm just going to snip these all apart. Of course, this one I had to already snip from the pile because I had to fix this one. Sometimes if the thread snaps, I will actually take the time and undo all the stitching, but these are just for gifts for friends and family, so I'm not, I'm not going to worry too much about it. But see, so there's that one. This is the one that snapped, so I mean, I know this one, it's not going to be the best looking, but like I said, if you're better at sewing than me, you could probably do a lot better job. I'm just somebody who just learning to stitch. And so there's that one. So it's pretty even. And I will say, the way I had these ones lined up, there is a difference at the back, only because I don't have it, I don't know. However I centered these, I didn't quite center them right, but I don't mind that because I do like when they hang to have the front a little longer than the back. It happens, doesn't seem to matter how I make these. I always seem to have it always seems to do that somehow. See, this one too. It's a little crooked, but I said, the tea towels themselves are crooked. I can spend the time, I've done it where I've really measured and then they are still crooked. So I like to just eyeball it. But It's just getting the little hanging tea towel. I mean, I think if you had better quality tea towels, like I do notice the difference in this thicker tea towel that I paid $3.50 for versus these ones that were like $1.25, maybe now $1.50. There is a difference in the way that they feel and how they look when they are hanging. And then there's the two Halloween ones. There. So now I've got these 6. Now I'm ready for the next step. Well, I guess I gotta make sure I got all the loose threads snipped off, so I will be doing that too. But my next step will of course be the buttons. So I have a stack of buttons that I chose. So I just bring the whole tray over. Just easier because it kind of stuck. So just a bunch of different buttons. I got like a white one, a cream color, this little greenish color, got some beige ones, some black ones, some burgundy. So I wasn't quite sure what would look good. And I'm gonna stitch them on with thread, and then I'm gonna use a little bit of the emery floss, or this is crafting string, just to give it that extra little touch. I got one of my other ones. See if I use some other corresponding thread. Now I was at first actually using my embroidery thread and actually threading it on, and then somebody made a comment about wouldn't it be easier to stitch the buttons on with regular thread and then just go over top with the coordinating thread, and I've done that for the last few of them. See, this one here is the straight emery thread, and I found that it does make it easier because then I can make sure it's stitched on and I don't have to use such a thick needle to go through so many times. So that is what I'm going to do. I just have to decide what color of buttons should go on each one of these. I'm thinking for this one, it's got this golden here and this yellow moon. I think I like this one or this one. Oops, not even in the frame. So I said this cream color one or this more greenish one, or I have the white. So I think I'm gonna do, what would a black one look? Maybe I'll do black. I kind of like that. I know, I'll do one in the cream because I've got 2 of them, and then this one is there. That will work good because this one is on the dark gray pot holder, so I'll do the black one, and this one is the navy blue, and I'll do the cream. So that's the other thing I like to do is before I stitch anything, just kind of decide what buttons I want to use. This one here with the blue truck and the blue, I really want something that's just gonna kind of stand out. So I'm thinking maybe this one here, or maybe this brownish color. Maybe I'll see if I have a different brown. It's a light, oops, again, sorry, not even in the frame. I was thinking maybe this one, I kind of like the color, or I have this other kind of like a brownish gray, or I have this one here. I'm gonna see if I actually have an actual brown that might actually work better. Yeah, I think I like, actually, out of the ones I've got here, I think I like this darker one. But I'm gonna see if I have a darker brown one that actually matches closer to the color of the barn. I think I do, because it would also matches the color of, you know, the truck tires too. Then I've got this one here with the pumpkins on it. Kind of, I think this one I kind of liked this, more of this red. Oops, again, not getting in the view of the camera. I keep changing where my camera is, and so I'm not quite sure where it is. So of just blends right in. I also have this one. I kind of think I like this kind of yellowish one, kind of brings up some of the yellow. But I think it was this one I actually liked because it was a little bit darker than this. So I don't know, one of those two. And I'm just gonna see if I have a different. And then these ones here, because it's gonna be done just a little bit different. But I have these burgundy ones, or this red one here, and it's got this glitter in it. And I got this larger one. So I was gonna use these red buttons on here just to bring the red out. I also kind of liked this one because you will see it on here like that. But I think I'll do the red ones on this one, or on those two. So I'm just gonna see if I have a darker brown, and then I'm just gonna get ready to stitch the buttons on. Okay, to sew the button, it's pretty simple. I've got my needle threaded, and then you just want to line up with how this is gonna hook on. I'm using this little tab of the pot holder to come around to, to fold over into the button. So just line it up. So it's gonna be just right about there. So I'm just gonna do a couple quick stitches here. I've already done the first 5. I just kind of wanted to get this kind of started and almost finished. I am not the best person when it comes to stitching on buttons. It never looks neat at the back. It's always just, either I pull the thread too tight, or I pull too loose. I'm too far from the buttonhole. I'm too close. Just I'm trying to make it look kind of neat at the back here. It's easier when it's just the ones that have the 2. It's a little trickier on the buttons with the 4 holes. Do it a couple more times because I'm still going to go over top of this with the other coordinating thread, just so I get so it looks a little bit nicer. There goes my thing of thread. I'm just going to finish this off by just going under the fabric at the back of the button, just to give it some more little more stability. Now I have these other ones sitting beside me here just so I can show another thing I have done. I can't do it this time. I don't know where all my extra little baby buttons are, and I'm just trying not to have to go out and purchase anything at the moment if I don't need to. I'm just trying to use up what I have and stuff that's not packed. So I think all my other buttons have been packed. But so it's on, it works, it looks so cute. So these ones here are ones I made a couple of years ago for Christmas. I have them all. These ones are brand new. These ones have never been used. These are my extra ones I had made that were made and were just haven't been given out yet. But I love to have these made and always just ready for, like a thank you gift or anything. So these ones, I did stitch a smaller button on the back, just kind of reinforces this, especially with they get used a lot. Just pet hair on here, it's okay. And of course this is the Christmas one, 'tis the season. So these were some of the first ones I was making. I'm just gonna put these back together because they are the Christmas gifts that I had made. Again, like this one doesn't have the button. This one does, and this one also has the button. I found that really made a huge difference in the way that it would feel hanging up. So it was just different things. Like as you make things, you kind of figure out how to make it a bit better. Now, did I lose the needle? No, I didn't lose. Some extra buttons in here. I thought I put them all away. Now I just gotta figure out the thread that I want to use. I'm gonna just do this one, and then I'll finish all the rest up, and then I will show you what they all look like. But this one, I decided with the whitish button, it kind of really highlights the little crystal ball. So I'm just trying to find which thread I think would look really good with this. think I'm going to stick with the blue. So I don't need a big piece, I just need to be able to go around that a few times. I'm just going to, oops, a little bit off. I always have trouble threading my needle when I'm using thicker cord or string. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this to thread, or if I'm going to have to get the different needle or my little needle threader tool. Just have to be able to get most of the thread through, and then I can start pulling it. Oops, that did not work. I'm probably not going to be able to thread this now. Oh. Is it all frayed? So I'm just going to turn that off. I'll try once more, and if this doesn't work, I'm going to grab the other needle. Oh, I got it that time. So this, I'm just going to do it like a, I don't know, no knots. I'm just going to leave a little bit of the tail hanging down. I'm just going to go over this just to, I always prick my fingers when I'm sewing. Just going to give it a couple little stitches here. Not too many, just enough to look a little more decorative than just the plain. I was just using gray thread just because that's what I had available at this exact moment. I don't know where all my other threads are. So, I'm just gonna tie these together so I can. Do a couple of those little knots here. Just gonna do one more. I never trust my knots on some of these types of threads, strings and stuff, so I always do like 2 or 3 knots just to make sure. And then just do a little snip, and that one is completely finished. So I'm just going to go and do the decorative stitch on all of these, and then I will hang them up on my stove so you can see what they all look like. Okay, it is recording. Just, I couldn't tell, I didn't see the timer starting. Okay, sorry. So I've got them finished, so I can hang up on my little oven towel bar here handle. I can hang up 3 of them. So I've hung up these 3 just so you can see. I mean, they're not perfectly, centered. If I go like this, like the back part comes over here, but I will say after they get used, you're not even going to notice that. It's when they're clean and they've got, or when they're first done and they still have like all the little creases in them. If there's anything where the back sticks out to the side, but once the towels are up here and you just kind of play around with it, you make it look like, like you purposely want it to do that. That's usually what I do. I usually just fan them out at the back so that it's not as obvious, but after a while they just kind of fluff and do whatever they're gonna do. But then I said these 2 here, they have their oven mitts, and I love the ones if you can find coordinating with the oven mitts, and I always keep them here like this. Or I guess I'll just hang this one on here and just you can see how it looks. how they kind of hang. And I said, these ones here were interesting. I've never done this way here, but I do like the way it works. And I'm thinking it'll probably work good for Christmas. Any that say like Merry Christmas or something right here, to have it off-centered so that you can see all the words. Because, you know, if I put it the other way, you know, the words are all upside down, backwards. Same with the back of this tea towel. This will be the first time I've done any with all these words on it. And so I really like the way it turned out. And I'll just put the next couple on here. These ones I got a couple, totally lots of just different buttons on all of them. So each one has its own little button. And I did all the coordinating, stitching in these. So I've got these three, I did the coordinating in a light tan. And these other three I did in the navy blue, or at least a darker blue. And if you really wanted to, because I was doing so many, I just didn't want to change the coloring of my thread, so I just stuck with the neutral cream color. But if you really wanted to hide this, then I would take the time and stitch each one. If these ones were done with the blue, I would stitch it with blue thread, change my thread, go with a dark gray thread, change it, go to the tan, change it, and go to the green. But I said sometimes when I just want to make quick crafts like this, that I'm just going to be for family and friends, you know, it's all like this. You don't even notice that it's like the color of the thread, because it's all on the inside. So I do really like the way these are turning out. I just wish I would have washed this one here before I made it, because I can see lots of dust on this one. I think it's because this one here I bought, I think, last year or the year before, and so it's just sitting around and just kind of got not used because of the color of the truck. It must have been last year, because I never saw the red trucks, and then last year I found just this one and it had a blue truck, and there was nothing else with the blue trucks on it. So either I missed out on all the blue trucks, or they only got, you know, like a few of these in and nothing coordinating to go with it. But I like how they all 6 have turned out. Just gonna turn my camera this way. Just see. Don't mind my dishwasher. It's a funny story. Dishwasher wasn't working. My husband thought he'd pull it out to check, and he pulled the front door off. So this morning we had to go and buy a new dishwasher. So my dishwasher is just sitting like that. So just kind of ignore that. But again, I just want to say thank you so much to everybody who's subscribing to my channels and watching my videos, and I will see you all in the next ones. Bye.